Hello, I'm Laura. Have you ever felt that you needed a body tune-up? Many people take better care of their cars than they do their bodies. And our cars will send us signals in the form of check engine light or the orange lights or the red lights that show up on our dashboard. Yet our bodies send us signals all the time. Sometimes those signals show up in the form of achy joints or stiffness or even pain. Even fatigue is a symptom that something might be out of balance. The good news is that we can restore our balance from the inside out through posture therapy. Posture therapy helps our bodies function more optimally when we're aligned from our ankles, our knees, our hips to our shoulders, and we're balanced from the right side to the left sides of our body, then everything functions better. And when things function better in our body, then we feel better in general. Have you ever heard about the Egoscue method? The Egoscue method is a wonderful method that focuses on posture alignment therapy through correction exercise. Pete Egoscue was a Marine, and he knows what it's like to live with chronic pain. And so he set out on a mission to find optimal ways to improve our body's way of healing and performing. And so the Egoscue method helps us realign our bodies, rebalance our bodies, correct any deviations from that optimal alignment, and helps us improve compensations that we might have. This is one of mine. I stood for a long time on my right hip, protecting a left hip injury that I had years ago from skiing. So I've learned how to rebalance my body, my energy, and how the muscles work. So sometimes tight muscles, stiff muscles, and those achy joints are really just weak muscles in disguise. So it's a matter of strengthening our body from the inside out and restoring that optimal functioning of the muscles, the tissues, the joints, and also the inner organs of our body. So the Egoscue method through posture therapy is a wonderful way to begin to restore our optimal well-being. Let me show you a diagram that the Egoscue method uses, and I'll introduce you. He's Freddie Function. So what we're going to look at together now is what is optimal posture? What is design posture? So we're going to look at our body in a moment, and I'll show you a couple client photos as well and how they've improved in just weeks and months and eliminated chronic pain for themselves. Let me share my screen with you now, and I'll introduce you to Freddie Function. Here we go. So we're looking at two profiles. If we're looking at a body from a side profile, we could imagine extending a vertical line straight down from the ear, the hip, the knee, and the ankle. Ideally, in optimally aligned posture, is we've got this vertical line that bisects each of those areas in our body. So we call these the low joints, and we want to align our low joints so that our body is stronger and more supple and does what we intend it to do so that we can enjoy pain-free living. If we look from the front view and look at horizontal lines, take a look, what's different from right to left? That's the question. Are your shoulders aligned in the horizontal line here from right to left? How about the hips, the kneecaps, and the inner and outer ankles on the right and the left side of your body? So when we're looking at this design posture, this is where our eyes go. So we're trying to evaluate what is different. Is the shoulder higher on the right than the left? Is the right hip rotated in front of the left hip? Do we carry more weight on the left foot than the right foot? Those are some cues that could indicate that something is going on that is moving us away from what an ideal or an optimal posture could look like. Let me show you a couple of pictures here from clients who have gone through the Egoscue method recently and corrected their posture. So I'm going to share another photo with you, and we'll start with this man. Looking at the top photos, this was in August. So this is a 3-month progress with his photos here. 3 weeks. The next one I'll show you is 3 months. So this man came with chronic pain in his neck. He has more muscular development on one side of his neck than the other, because of some radiation treatment that he's had years ago, and he's been rehabilitating his body ever since. So he came in feeling fatigued. He came in feeling weak and wanted to find a way that he could regain his fitness and his energy again so that he could enjoy a lot of the sports and activities that he used to enjoy. So if we look at what's different here on the right side and the left side of his body in the top photos with the orange t-shirt, his feet are turned out. Those are everted feet. We're lining up the ankle, or excuse me, the line right from the middle of the heels all the way up through his nose. So what's offset? What's different from right to left? Um, so we can see that one shoulder does look different. He's got more muscular development on that right shoulder versus the left shoulder. His head is slightly turned. So we know that there was something going on in his neck. That's what he came to see me for. On the side profile with the orange t-shirt, you can see that he's leaning forward. So that vertical line is not ideally bisecting the ankle, the knee. Knee is forward of the ankle, the hips are forward of the knees, and so are the shoulders, and the head is forward. So the shoulders are rounded, the head is forward. If we were to compare 3 weeks later after doing some prescribed exercises, um, you can see how his ankle and his knee are more aligned. His hip has come back, so his pelvis is starting to draw back because we're strengthening muscles of his hips. And the shoulders are a little less rounded. The head is not quite as far forward. If we look at the front view, the shoulders are more leveled. He's starting to balance out that musculature. He's got more resilience, more suppleness now in his tissues. All right. So we can also see that his feet are pointing straight ahead. He's learned how to balance his weight now more from right to left. So this was just within 3 weeks, and he's continued to see a lot of progress. I'm going to share another photo with you here of a woman. This lady came in to see me with shoulder pain. So if we look at the top photos in her orange shirt, on the side profile, if we're looking at that vertical line from the ankle, knee, hip up to shoulder in the ear, what do you notice that's different? All right, her hips, her ankles and her knees are a little bit more aligned, but we did have some work to do through her calves and her ankles and her feet. Balance was a goal that she wanted to achieve a little bit more. She wanted to feel more steady on her feet and to reduce that pain through the shoulders. She's got a very rounded upper spine. Her head is farther forward. All right. So if we compare that side view down to the lower picture in the lighter t-shirt, you can see that she's already got greater alignment. Her hips have come uh, back, so she was jutted forward a little bit. Her shoulders, the hips to shoulders are more aligned, so less rounded. Head has also come back. We can see that her ear is almost lined up with that vertical line compared to the first picture. Now, if we look at the back view, you could see that the vertical line from the center of her heels moving up through the back of her head is not aligned at all. Okay, you can see more of her right side of her body over to the right side to that line than the left side, compared to the second picture where she's almost come right back into a vertical alignment. So there's less rotation in her spine. Her shoulders are a little bit more level. So she does have more mobility through her back than when she first came to see me. She walks with a very narrow stance, so she's learning also how to balance her weight from right to left. And this was within 3 months that she's seen that progress. And so she's had several exercise programs throughout that period. And even since then, that's continuing to see great results. Okay. I'm going to come back to you here. Let's try it for ourselves. So would you like to try a balance test to see how you're standing? You can check this out in the mirror. You can have somebody take pictures of you, but this is what we do in our first assessment is we take 4 pictures, your right side, left side, front and back, and we assess to see what's different on the right to the left to the front to the back and what needs to be strengthened, what needs to be released. And sometimes the pain, the discomfort we're feeling is actually weaker muscles. So a tight muscle might be a weak muscle, and that's causing the joints to start to deviate. And then that makes our posture compensate, and we start to overuse some muscles because others are weak. So we want to restore the balance between the flexibility and the stability of our bodies. So stand up nice and tall, walk on the spot for me. Let's get loose. Take a deep breath and then plant your feet straight down. And I'm going to invite you here to close your eyes. Direct your awareness down into your feet. And what do you notice? Are you standing more on the right foot or the left foot? Do you feel that you have more weight on one foot more than the other? How about compared to your heels to the balls of your feet? Are you standing more on your heels or the front of your feet? It's possible that you have more weight on one heel and the forefront of the foot on the opposite foot, which could indicate some rotation happening in your pelvis. How about the inner and the outer edges of your feet? Are you drawing the feet inwards, outwards? All right. And then open your eyes. So that was just something, a pretest that we can notice. Let's do 2 exercises and see if these 2 exercises make a difference for you of how you're standing. All right. So we'll start with what we call arm circles. We take a golfer's grip. So we bend the front fingers to the pads of our hands, open the thumbs out nice and wide. So let's stand. Imagine that Freddy function. Can you line up your ankles, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders? Find your even balance right to left as best as you can. Arms come out to the sides at shoulder height. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another here. It's like you're pinching them in together, retracting them to stimulate the upper back muscles. Now give me 30 circles to the front. These are about 6 to 8 inch circles. Take some deep breaths, standing tall. And you might notice a difference on one shoulder to the other and how they're moving. So you can try this exercise. It's one that makes a lot of difference for most people in their shoulder mobility and also gets the conversation going between our shoulders and our hips. All right, keep going. This is a nice way to reset our posture and to stimulate the muscles, but also the connective tissue and to help restore balance from right to left. Give me a few more and then let it go. Good. Let's do that again. This time, turn the palms up, stretching from the shoulders out to your knuckles and circle to the back this time, 6 to 8 inch circles with a good strong pace. Now, this could be anywhere between 20 and 40 repetitions. So if 30 is too much, go down to 20. If 20 feels easy, try 30 and gradually work up to 40. Do these every day. So the posture menus that we design are meant to be done every day, just like brushing our teeth. There are consequences if we don't brush our teeth. Same thing with these postural exercises. So what we don't use, we lose. Keep going. Give me a few more. And then release. Good. Anything you notice? Tingling? I always feel that I can breathe better, that we've opened up more respiratory muscles. All right, let's try another one. Let's go pigeon-toed this time. Turn the big toes towards one another, heels wider than the toes, and tighten up the thigh muscles. So squeeze your quadriceps. Let's interlace the fingers behind the head and press the head gently into the hands. Open the elbows wide. Now hold it here. You can hold this position up to a minute. We'll do about 30 seconds right now. But this is a wonderful posture reset that starts to stimulate the muscles in the back part of our body. So if we're hunched over a computer or sitting in a car or even just hunched over our phones or our laptops or electronic devices, that sometimes puts these muscles to sleep in the back. We need to stimulate them. So bones only do what muscles tell them to do. So we stimulate our muscles and our bones start to realign naturally. Give me another few seconds here. Pull those elbows back. Keep your thighs nice and tight. Good. Release the arms. Shake out your body. Let's do one more. Keep the feet hip distance apart. Line up again. This time, interlace the hands behind your head. You can do this with or without the hands interlaced, but they're gluteal squeezes. So squeeze your buns now nice and tight. And let's do that 10 times. Press the head gently into the hands, or you can do it with the arms alongside of your body, palms facing forward. Squeeze and release your glutes. Tighten and release. Squeeze them, let go. Keep going. Now, do you notice if one glute fires before the other? Let's see if you can get them working together. Right and left glutes squeezing. Tight, tight, tight glutes. Squeeze those buns and release. Squeeze, release. Are you breathing? We sometimes forget when we're focused on other things, but those tissues and muscles need oxygen, circulation. Good, a couple more. and then let it go. Good. Walk around a bit. Just what do you notice in your body? As you come back, let's stand tall again. We'll do that post test. Same thing as we did before. Close your eyes. Direct your awareness to your feet. And do you feel anything different from the first time you checked in? This is an easy balance test that you can do anytime to see where is your weight, right to left, inner to outer feet, front to back. Does it feel anything different? Maybe you're more in your heels than you were in your toes. Maybe the weight is more centered on your feet than it was when you began. Well done. So that's a nice balance test that you can do to check in with yourself. I showed you 3 different standing exercises. There are hundreds of exercises that we can do, and we'll make sure that we find the right exercise for you to restore that balance. And so by improving our posture, our body functions better, and we can enjoy pain-free living and all the activities that we love to do each day without any restriction. So I invite you to reach out if you have any questions about what we've looked at here together, or if you're curious to know how posture therapy can help you, you can email me. I'll give you my email here, laura@laurawharf.com. So feel free to reach out, ask questions. I'm happy to help. Until then, stay balanced and be well.